He died for 3 minutes and saw his karma unfold. If you feel tired from trying to hold it all together, maybe, just maybe, you can let go for a moment. There's a man who spent his whole life climbing the ladder of success. He had everything: a 6-figure job, a perfect family portrait, a house with thick walls that felt hollow inside. But what haunted him wasn't failure. It was this: every night he dreamed of drowning, yet he had never stepped into deep water. Let me tell you what really happened. Jonathan Reed was a corporate lawyer. Sharp, respected, always 5 steps ahead. Yet beneath the suit, there was a restlessness he couldn't shake off. He didn't believe in karma. Or at least, that's what he told himself. But life doesn't need your belief to unfold. It was a normal Tuesday when his heart stopped. 3 minutes. That's what the paramedics said later. 3 minutes of clinical death before they brought him back. But in those 3 minutes, Jonathan wasn't gone. He was awake. More awake than ever before. He didn't see a tunnel of light. He didn't float above his body. Instead, he found himself standing in a dim room. A room that felt eerily familiar, though he had never been there before. And then, the stories began. He saw a woman's face, twisted in anguish. Young, no older than 20. Jonathan didn't recognize her yet. Somehow, he did. In a lifelong forgotten, he had broken her heart. Lied, betrayed, left her with words sharper than knives. Then the scene shifted. A child, sitting alone on a staircase, clutching a wooden toy. The child wasn't crying. He was just waiting. Waiting for a father who never returned. Jonathan felt an ache in his chest. He realized the child was him, but also not him. The lines between giver and receiver blurred. The karma of abandonment rippled both ways. One by one, faces appeared. Some strangers, some reflections. Every harsh word he had thrown, every silent resentment he had harbored, they unfolded before him. Not as punishments, but as stories left unfinished. Jonathan came back after 3 minutes, but he wasn't the same. He couldn't explain it to anyone. How do you tell people you met the echoes of your own cruelty? How do you confess you saw your own wounds reflected in the eyes of those you once hurt? As the Buddha once said in the Dhammapada, the evildoer grieves here and hereafter. He grieves and suffers as he reflects on the evil he has done. But karma isn't revenge. It's a mirror that reflects, not to shame you, but to awaken you. Jonathan began noticing things he used to overlook. The tired eyes of his secretary, who always smiled but never laughed. The way his son's voice trembled when asking simple questions. He realized he was living loops. The same impatience. The same dismissive habits. Different faces. He began to pause, to breathe before reacting. Small changes, imperceptible to the world, but seismic within him. Have you ever wondered why certain pains feel strangely familiar? Do you believe? You're living a story you promised to finish long ago. Jonathan didn't need to preach. He didn't need to tell anyone about his 3 minutes. His life became his confession. Every act of patience, every choice to listen rather than control became his way of writing new pages in a karmic story that had looped for lifetimes. He learned that impermanence isn't just about things ending. It's about knowing nothing is fixed. No role, no mistake, no wound is forever. The wheel of samsara keeps turning, but every breath is a chance to choose where you place your hands. Jonathan never became a monk. He didn't abandon his career, but he became a quieter presence. Less sharp, perhaps, but softer in the ways that mattered. Because some awakenings don't require you to change the world. They only require you to truly see it. If this story touched a part of you that feels unfinished, you'll be back. You're not done with this story, and it's not done with you. When the time is right, you'll hear this whisper again. If this story touched you, leave a word in the comments, even just "Yont peace." Let's build a space of compassion and truth together. Sometimes you don't find Dharma. The Dharma finds you again and again.